Hey guys, Miss Glass here again. Today we're going to start our grammar instruction with simple sentences. So a simple sentence contains a subject and a verb, and a simple sentence is also known as an independent clause. When we're live in class, I like students to say these words out loud. So while you're watching this, you should say some of these words out loud. Subject, verb, independent clause. SVI, we're going to use these letters as symbols for subjects, verbs, and independent clauses. And that leads us right into what is a subject. So a subject is a person, place, thing, quality, or idea that completes the action of the verb. We're going to talk more about that. A verb is a word that shows state of being or action of the subject. So the subject and the verb are related to each other. The subject is always completing the action of the verb. And together, a subject and a verb make a complete sentence, also known as an independent clause. So an independent clause has to have a subject and a verb. Okay, we said that there are two types of verbs. We have action verbs and state of being verbs. Action verbs are the typical words you think of when you hear the word verb. Words like run, eat, sleep, talk, think, love, read, jump, play, sing, any actions. Those are action verbs. But then we also have state of being verbs, which are equally as important. You have to be able to recognize them when you see them in a sentence. Those are words like have, has, or had, where you say, I have a cell phone. Well, you're not really doing anything. There's no action involved, but it's describing the way you exist. You have a cell phone. Same thing with the verb to be, which forms is, am, was, and were, and are. So if I say he is tall, he's not doing anything, but the word is the verb in that sentence describing his state of being. And want is another example. So moving right along, let's take a look at how to identify subjects and verbs in a sentence. So step one is always find the verb first. You want to look for the action or the state of being verb or word to find the verb. So in our first sentence, Kevin reported the theft. What is Kevin doing? He reported. That's the action. So that's our verb. And then step two, we say, ask yourself who or what verb. So in this case, our verb is reported. So who or what reported? In this case, the answer is Kevin. Kevin reported. So that would be our subject. Let's look at our second example. Paula is taller than Jade. Again, start with step one. Look for the action or state of being. Remember, the state of being verb in this sentence is. And then we're going to say who or what is. And in this sentence, Paula is. It does not say Jade is. So Jade is not a subject. Okay, there's 4 formulas for simple sentences. SV, SSV, SVV, SSVV. Those are the 4 formulas. They have subjects and verbs, and each one of those is an independent clause by itself. When you have 2 subjects or 2 verbs, you'll have the word and in between. So keep an eye out for that word and I'm going to show you some examples. Okay, so for subject verb, we have I went to the mall. 1 subject, 1 verb. Subject, subject, verb, we have Julie and Amy watched TV. So there's that word and. We have Julie and Amy. That gives us 2 subjects. Watch TV. The dog sniffed and peed on the hydrant. There's that and between the 2 verbs. Christos and his brother argued and fought every night. SSVV. And again, we have that word and. Christos, and his brother argued and fought every night. So anytime you have 2 verbs or 2 subjects, we're going to see the word and in there. Okay, so let's do some examples together. Number 1, the students did their homework and ate popcorn. So the first thing we're looking for is the verb. So the students did their homework, and be careful, there's another verb, ate popcorn. So then I'm going to ask, who did their homework and ate popcorn? The students. That's our subject. Number 2, the politicians and their guests sat down for dinner. The action is that they sat down for dinner. Who sat? The politicians and their guests. So that makes an SSV sentence. Number 3, I want a cheeseburger. Ooh, I could always go for a cheeseburger. Want is the state of being verb, and who wants? I want is the subject. Last one, number 4, Ben and Chris went to the park and played football with John. So we're looking for our verbs first. Let's see, we've got that they went to the park and they played football. Who went to the park and played football? Ben and Chris. Okay, so quick vocabulary review. We learned 3 words today. Subject is the person, place, thing, or idea completing the action of the verb. The verb is the word that describes the action or state of being. And the independent clause is a complete sentence. If we were doing this live in a classroom, I would really encourage you guys to say these words out loud. So when the video is over, practice saying these words a couple times and see how it feels. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is complete the subject and verbs practice assignment on my MCPS classroom. And I'll see you back for the next video.